Hey everyone, my name is Liliana Gidry, and my topic for Fishbowl number two is figs and their social media platform usage. I used this picture specifically. It's a newer advertisement, not necessarily advertisement, but logo that they're using because it has the new colors. And I love these new colors that they have. And also because it showcases women in the healthcare industry. So, the two articles that I have here, the first one, Social Media Influence in Public Health, is primarily about um, how social media can influence um, public health, such as providing information on new diseases. Um, excuse me. It can provide information, like real time information on um, they can provide real time information on, um, I'm trying to think of the word, when you have a disease and you cure it, right? So it gives different cures and things like that. But basically, providing real time information in the healthcare industry to patients and consumers. The next article is social media based consumer engagement and just providing research on how social media can gain and retain new and existing consumers. They're both very, very interesting topics. The public health one, I really did like it. It doesn't necessarily tie into what I'm presenting only because it talks more about, you know, how social media can reach more patients. Like, I work in the healthcare field, right? So we use an application or app that is called My Chart, which a lot of different healthcare organizations use if they have Epic as their EMR, their electronic medical record system. So with that, that's social media type of engagement with patient care. So it doesn't that article doesn't necessarily pertain to what I'm presenting as far as how social media can enhance and retain consumers, but it does provide a lot of insight on how social media can affect the healthcare industry. So, Figs, I said it in my first fishbowl, is a direct to consumer brand. So, as you can see here on the right, it's just a photo that I found online in Google, where a traditional retailer, it goes from the manufacturer to the wholesaler to the distributor to the retailer to the consumer. So, right, there's a lot of hands in that. Whereas Figs is a direct to consumer. It goes from the manufacturer to the advertising or website to the consumer. There's no middleman. There's no, it's got to be made over here, then be sent over here. So they're reducing those costs that traditional retailers are subjected to. As I believe I stated in the first visual, they do have a brick and mortar store. They opened up their first brick and mortar store, I believe, at the end of 2023 in Los Angeles, California. And then a few months later, they opened up another one in Philadelphia. So they only have two stores, specifically just Figs, that only recently opened up, and then everything else is online. And then they're using social media as is considered kind of like a gamble, right? But with the amount of traffic that's on so many different social media sites, it can reach more people than just being a traditional retailer is, right? So I put in here, for example, Rouse's. I am from Michigan originally, but I have lived on the Gulf Coast for a little over 7 years now. And the only grocery stores that are currently local is Walmart. Winn Dixie just recently closed because it's being converted to Aldi, which I'm super excited about. And then there's Rouse's. And there's a couple like random little mom and pop type grocery stores, but primarily what you have in this area is Walmart and Rouse's. Rouse's is a locally owned grocery store. It's based out of Louisiana. I live in the state of Mississippi. and they only have stores in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and I believe Florida. Um, but here's what I'm getting at is that that's a smaller company, right? So it's a traditional retailer. So the product comes from the manufacturer to the wholesaler to the distributor to the retailer to the consumer. So there's all these different hands in your pockets. They're not online. Compared to Walmart, they have millions of stores everywhere. They have gas stations. Rouse's doesn't have gas stations that I know of, at least not here in Mississippi. They have online pickup. They have delivery. Now, Rouse's did, since COVID, start doing online pickup, but it's not as popular as Walmart. They do delivery because they partnered with Shipped, which is an online-based company that you can order groceries on, but you pay at a certain percentage rate higher because you're going through a third party to get your groceries. So, not a lot of people like to use that. During COVID, it was really popular. Not so much now, but that's what I'm trying to explain is that, um, you know, Rouse's doesn't get as much traffic as Walmart. Well, Rouse's is going to get the traffic because of word of mouth, not necessarily because of their online engagement or social media engagement compared to a big company like Walmart. So the same thing with figs, right? They're not going to get as much, or they're going to get more engagement because they're online. They're only online primarily rather than being in store. So some of the social media platforms that are used by figs is Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Pinterest. So here are some screenshots I took of the different platforms that they use. I did realize doing this research that Facebook is not a very popular platform like the others. TikTok is really, really huge for them. It's one of their bigger social media platforms that they use because they can interact. I believe because they can interact with consumers more. I did read a lot of reviews doing the research, so I did see that they did interact with a lot of people through Facebook, but they haven't posted anything since 2024, I think. So social media influence. There is a lot of user traffic, right, when we're on social media. One of the articles that had stated that in April 2020, there were nearly 4 billion users on social media, 3.81 million just to be, or billion just to be exact. And they were expected to reach 4.41 billion by 2025. And then I believe there was another part where it said by 2027, it's expected to reach 6 billion. So to jump from, about a half a billion, or a little bit more than half a billion in 5 years, but yet jump to another nearly 2 million 2 years after that is kind of crazy, right? So in 2013, Facebook had 1.1 billion monthly users, and it increased by 2.9 million just in 9 years. I'm sorry. Yeah, 9 years. And then YouTube, they had 2,562 million users in 2022, whereas TikTok had 1,000 million users in 2022, and X had 436 million users in 2022. Um, Another big social platform that the article about social media had spoke about is WeChat, I believe is what it was called. Um, it was so in China, they can't use a lot of our social media platforms, so they have their own social media platform, and it's called WeChat, and it's a very highly used platform. I'm not sure if Fix. I would highly doubt that Fix is on there, but it was just interesting to find that how its usage can grow consumers. So with social media, it can provide real-time reviews and usage of the product. Is Has the ability to showcase a day in the life of a healthcare professional. It can relate to the consumer. It can provide health concerns while also soliciting product and health promotion by partnering with companies like Tampax or getting tested for mammograms early. So I was saying that social media by partnering with products like Tampax, like in my first, um, let me see here. Yeah, in my first Fishbowl, I had talked about different campaigns that they have, and every October they do a campaign for cancer, for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, right? And they say F cancer, um, and so they sell these popping pink, or I forget what color it is, but it's a very very bright neon pink color that they use, and they sell that and promote it every October for breast cancer awareness and donated proceeds to breast cancer foundation for research. So I was suggesting that, social media, they can partner with a product like Tampax, or Always, for pads, to promote, target towards women that are in that group or getting tested for mammograms. Because you think of consumers that purchase Tampax or Always products are typically 40 and younger, anywhere between however old they are to start using the products, which can vary, up until they're about in their 40s or 50s. And then you have those other women that are going to test for mammograms, and typically, most women don't start getting mammograms until they're in their 40s. So by partnering with these two different, well, mammograms wouldn't be a company, but targeting, or sorry, partnering with an organization, a healthcare organization, about mammograms, and then with Tampax, it can help grow their consumer base, by using that through social media. So, some other ways that bigs can influence social media, they have influencers, right? So, an influencer is someone who, you can be kind of, you're usually a brand ambassador. So, a brand ambassador is, you promote the product by sharing content on your social media platform of the product, saying, "Oh, this is great." So I'm actually a brand ambassador for Comfort, but to be honest, to be a brand ambassador, it's like a job, and I don't have two, and I go to school, and I have a family, and I don't have time to be a brand ambassador. But it's, the idea was really cool. But basically, you create the content of the product and then share it on social media, and you get a link that you provide to consumers. To, once they click on that link, they can get a percentage off the product, and then you receive monetary compensation by them clicking on your link. So an influencer is someone that's trying to persuade you to purchase that product because they're a brand ambassador and they're getting paid to be that, right? So I think it's, both these women right here are brand ambassadors. These are all TikTok um, screenshots that I grabbed. But this woman right here, her video was kind of cool because she was showing herself getting ready for the day, and how she has, the whole outfit on, and how great it feels and things like that. And then you have in content advertisement. So paid advertisements within social media, they have a lot of this. This right here, this is why I took the screenshot, because I just searched figs to try to find some information when doing some research. So you can see sponsored. So you click here, and it's going to take you to their website. But they have a lot of this. If you go on Facebook or any other social media platform, for the most part, you will see like a line in the bottom of a reel or a video or something, and it's an ad. Figs does a lot of that. And then they also do healthcare weeks or month discounts. So, like for Nurses Week, and I don't know why this is the second picture, I'm just now realizing where it flipped. So, I apologize. But during Nurses Week 2025, they offer 20% off. And they do a lot of promotion for different fields within the healthcare industry, to entice, consumers to purchase their product. And then this is their TikTok page. If you go to their page, it automatically pulls up all their products for sale. And it tells you exactly how much everything is. And in my mind, because I'm convinced that our phones are always listening to us and know what we're doing, I have five or six pairs just of this exact color and style. So I feel like that's why this is popping up primarily, because of that. So consumer loyalty, with social media, it can create consumer loyalty, right? It maintains by a direct to consumer company depends heavily on word of mouth. So word of mouth isn't always necessarily, you know, hey, did you see that ad on TikTok about figs? That looks great. It's also you posting it on social media. So word of mouth is huge because of social media. And then depending on social influencers, reviews of products through social media, it can gain more traffic to their website. So I took a couple screenshots of different product reviews on the brand. Um, so I chose this one. Like I said, I really, really like this new color that they have. And this is my favorite top that I wear. My husband always makes fun of me because he says it looks like I'm wearing a fishing shirt because it like hangs over and it's kind of like got this thing on the back. But I like it because it's flowy and I hate things that stick to my body, even though I have a shirt on right now that does. But when I'm working, I want to be able to feel free and move. And most scrub shirts are, if you've never worn them, they're very like sucked into your skin. And I don't like that if I have to keep moving around. I want to feel able to move free. And so the Rafaela is the best shirt, right? And you can see that 380, what's it, 30? Yeah, 30,000, almost 31,000 people agree that this product is amazing. I don't believe it's the color, it's the actual shirt that these are the reviews on because this is a newly color, but I could be wrong. Um, However, if you actually can see some of these reviews, like they say it's great, size down to at least two sizes. I don't. I just wear the size I am, and then it's kind of flowy. Now the pants they're a little bit different, but and then the quality has a 1 star here, 5 5. There were a lot of mixed reviews that I found, and this is from their specific website. Um, but this is going to help consumers decide what if they want to purchase their product, right? This is the shop pay. So one of the cool things about figs, and a lot of companies are doing this now, is that you can purchase the product and opt in to pay biweekly. So say you purchase, $300 worth of scrubs, which is easy to do. That's like 4 sets. Um, and you're like, oh man, I really don't want to spend $300 this week, but you can do $75 every 2 weeks. So it would come to this site, and that's how you would pay for the product. But you can also purchase directly from this site. I know in my first Fishbowl, I said you can't purchase from any other site. They kind of partnered with Figs. A lot of other companies do that too that are a direct to consumer product. And they partner with them because they do that payment plan option. And then this is their TikTok. So I included this to kind of show you. So on the other screen, where is it? This one, where this is where it automatically takes you to whenever you come to Fig's site. But this is, I believe, the repost. So I thought this was cool because they're in order on TikTok. If you've never been on TikTok, and I'm still learning. Okay, my 16-year-old daughter is all over it, but I'm still kind of understanding it. And I got it just because of her. But if you repost something, you're sharing it to everyone that's within your feed or whatever, and then you're also saving it to your profile. So these are all just consumers that are advertising for them for free, saying, "Hey, look at this product." And a lot of these you can't see it because it's not zoomed in big enough. But a lot of these people here, it was for what is it called? Match day. So people that just graduated from doctor school, medical school, and just are becoming a doctor. They matched, and so they have their figs on, and they're posting a video, and they're promoting figs, and then figs shares it to say thank you, basically, and that's free promotion for them. So I wanted to say that there was a fun fact about me, right? It takes me a few times before I really decide to purchase something if I see something in an ad. Figs was the same way. However, there were other nurses in my clinic that were wearing figs, and I was like, "Oh, that brand's really nice," and I liked the way it felt, and I still wasn't sold on it because of the price, but then it kept popping up in my feed, and I finally just purchased it, and now I refuse to wear any other scrubs. Um, More recently, I've seen a couple commercials on sea moss, and I was like, I don't know about that. And then I just went. And then my husband was talking about it one day, and I bought it. But it's because of the ads, the in content ads. I'm telling you, those things work. And then some benefits of social media, it can create digital socializing, kind of like how here, where you have these consumers that are creating these videos for figs, basically. It's kind of the same thing. So I'm sure we all are aware how Lay's usually does this every year. This is from 2024, where, not this one, I'm sorry, these two. Where you create or come up with your own flavor of Lay's chips, and then you can win $10,000, which is super cool, right? And then Pringles kind of had this similar campaign where you can create a video and you post it and you hashtag it, play with Pringles, and then they can share it for you and you can win a prize, I believe, which was really cool. This was actually in the social media article that I had, and I wasn't even aware of it. I had to Google it. It was really cool. So you have a potential to reach a broader audience, and then influencers can draw more consumers to the product, and in return, they'll receive monetary compensation. So it's like a win-win. The company wins, and the influencer gets to win. So overall, social media definitely, I believe, helps the company. It's really their only, it's not their only, but it's primarily their way to reach consumers and promote their product. So it's a great tool for any company, but specifically for figs.